You on live yet? No.
Yeah. T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Hello.
Four, three, two, one.
Hello everybody. How you all doing? We kind of got the timing.
Hello.
I kind of got the timing a little bit wrong there, so we came in a little bit late. 13 seconds according to my little clock there. So I guess we'll put that down as a fail. But you know, I'll try. It's the only IT I've got to worry about tonight. Although hopefully tonight the camera's going to stay on throughout. So what are we doing tonight? Well, just after this introduction, we've got a quick weather chat, but it doesn't look like we've got a weather chat from Simon Keeling because I sent him an invite and he's not here. So he could click in and then suddenly appear and give us all the weather, or he could not. If he doesn't, I'm going to step in and give you the weather because I had a look at it. Then what have we got? Then we got the news, a few bits and pieces going on in news, and we're going to have a bit of a hangar chat. A bit of a look at events, update on the magazine. I've got a small, maybe not so small apology to make, some usual promo stuff and some other bits and pieces. And that is probably it for tonight. And unfortunately, I'm not drinking during the week, so I can't really go out and say I'll have a nice beer outside in the hot evening sun. But there you go, such is life. So weather, is Simon Keeling here? No, Simon Keeling's not here. So I had a quick look at the weather. It's going to be scorch here tomorrow. It's going to be nice on Saturday, nice on Sunday. The weather's fine. You want to have a quick look and check officially, but I reckon you're okay for flying between now and Sunday, which is just as well. That's my official weather. I decided not to do it in a kind of Simon Keeling accent because he probably would have been upset and it would have been a bit silly, but there you go. So what else have we got? News. Let's head over on to news. Dave, have you seen item 3 on the agenda on our list?
Yes. It's a story about the Garmin ransomware and how they were held hostage by a Russian hacker. But the theory is that they were held to ransom by a Russian hacker called Evil Corp. And I don't know how much of this has been made up or is real, but Evil Corp infiltrated all of Garmin's systems, everything, even the PCs in the office, apparently, so allegedly, and the company could not function properly last week. On Monday, they started to get it back, and bits of it have been coming back online ever since. So, I guess. So,
you'd like to think that no one phoned up and said, "Hello, this is Evil Core," and sorry, we'll put you through.
Send us your Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you know later, because Garmin have just. It's been a few years since I've been to Garmin, but when I was at Garmin last, they were in the middle of building a massive new headquarters, and everything's massive in the States, obviously, and you also have to build massive car parks, like a big multi-story car park for the Garmin people. You kind of wonder when Evil Core send that message through, and the message flashes up on the screen, whether someone runs to the top of the car park and gets the Garmin logo and projects it on so that Batman comes and rescues them or something.
Yeah, I guess a lot of employees were working from home, weren't they still? So I wonder whether that had something to do with it.
Yeah. Carol wants to know, did they pay the ransom? Well, you know what?
No one knows.
No one knows. And no one, I suspect we will never, ever know. And I suspect they will always say they didn't. And maybe they didn't. And maybe they did. And who knows? And I kind of imagine when you're someone the size of Garmin and something like that happens, that must involve all sorts of those big police people they have in the US, the kind of FBIs or whoever it is. They must get involved in a fairly high level. for that kind of thing, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't be a very comfortable position when you're sitting there and your whole company is paralyzed.
No.
Yeah. It also compromised everything that Garmin was launching last week as well, wasn't it? Because they had the virtual Oshkosh, and Garmin had their own booth, if you like, stand.
Yeah.
And it compromised all that, which is it's an important time of year for them. So had a difficult week, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I bet you when they finally turned it all back on, there was a flood of emails and questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys see the any of the Garmin stuff? Did you see either Trent Palmer's video or the Patey's video?
Well, didn't Trent Palmer do a video saying keep it simple, and the Pateys were like, no, as much as possible.
I think Trent Palmer did a video going, does all this electronic stuff, has it got a place in bush planes?
Yeah.
And then
Patey said yes.
Well, and Trent actually said, yeah, actually it has.
Yeah.
Might be because he had it all in front of him and he was doing it for Garmin.
But he only has one screen. I think the best comment I saw that related to the Mike Patey Cub panel with all the screens is that it was imagining a situation where Mike was at the Garmin HQ and someone in Garmin turns to Mike and says, Mike, how many screens do you want? And Mike's reply is just, yes.
All of them. It would be, I don't know. I'm kind of assuming that Oshkosh happens next year, which is a big assumption, and assuming that Scrappy has flown and not been destroyed between now and next year. I'm kind of assuming that at some stage we'll get to see Scrappy in the flesh.
I would think so.
I don't know. I'm still not a big fan of that orange thing. And apparently, when he was doing the video with Garmin, and he zoomed in on the panel, there were like 3 switches that were covered and hidden.
Yeah, but you know what they are for?
Is it buy more screens from Garmin?
No. So they take over, but it's up and down. They're all up and down switches for the left and right gear and the tail wheel. So I suspect that when we see Scrappy in the it's eventually revealed, you'll see that it's actually got retractable in some way undercarriage.
Do you think it's going to go along the runway with like one of those beat boxes doing that jumpy thing that American cars do?
Quite possibly.
I think Carol's asked a very good question there.
Who is
Not
Scrappy?
everybody knows who you're talking about when you say Scrappy.
I can't believe that Carol doesn't know what Scrappy is. Come on, Carol.
Google Mike Patey Scrappy.
Yeah, no, it's Mike Patey's airplane. What do you mean? You know what it is, really, don't you? You're just kind of, yeah, no, hello. Fill your evening with YouTube. There you go. Go and look at Mike Patey and Scrappy if you don't know. It's a good one. It's a good one. Well, I don't think there's any chipmunks. What else is happening? Hangar Homes.
Yes.
Or have we finished with Garmin and Scrappy?
I think so.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
So Hangar Homes, this is a project by Peter Day, who's a pilot and architect. And Peter has been persevering with this for several years and at several airfields. Anyway, he's gone back to his original idea of having some hangar homes at Solent Airfield, and he's appealing the planning decision which turned him down. So basically, he wants to build 6 of these units. They're a house and they're a hangar. They're quite, hangar homes are quite common in the States. There's even a few in France, but no one's managed to actually do it on an airfield in the UK yet. Fareham Borough Council, who operate the airfield, they're not keen because they say it will compromise their plans for the airfield. And Peter says nonsense. And he's actually got the support of the adjacent council, Gosport Borough Council, which has access to the south side of the airfield. So it's a complicated mess. Yeah.
But I think hangar homes are great.
Yeah.
Having seen some in the States, I'd love to live with my aeroplane.
Well, it looks like you are, Ed. Frankly.
Everyone probably thinks that.
Yeah. And interestingly, we know that Grant Shapps, Secretary of Transport, but he was the founder of the all-party parliamentary group on general aviation. Grant is very keen on mixed-use airfields, and he sees hangar homes being, well, the APPGA sees hangar homes as being quite a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the ones in Solent, if I am not mistaken, they're not just straightforward hangar homes, are they? They're kind of like, are they a business hangar home? Do you need to have
they'll have some element of work, but I'm sure there's lots of people who could use that kind of space for work and aviation. So
yeah. Well, we're all working from home now, aren't we? Most of us, anyway.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Some of the hangar homes we've seen at Spruce and elsewhere have just been amazing, haven't they? And I've seen some of the ones in France. In fact, the guy who owns the strip, Nigel, where I keep my airplane, he headed off today actually to his hangar home in France. And he's got a Jeep that he rents out there, and I've stayed there. It's very, very nice, very cool to be able to land and taxi across the main road when nothing's coming into your sort of little property, which is quite nice. But yeah, so far we haven't got any. There was a plan for some at Henstridge that didn't get off the ground.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
A long time ago, yeah.
There's plenty of room at Henstridge. They could do it there.
Yeah, the farmer has a hangar home. Yeah, well, I guess that's yeah. Well, yeah.
If you're fortunate enough to have enough space for a strip, then obviously you can operate a strip as part of your garden, can't you? And then you can build a hangar in the garden.
Yeah, that chap, Lord Rotherwick, has one of those, doesn't he?
At Cornbury Park, he does.
He's got a slightly larger home than most, though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, moving on. Wasn't there a plan for Old Sarum, says Keir?
There
I think
was.
There as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Which is that conveniently takes us to something about Old Sarum, I believe.
Yes. There was a press release this week from Go Skydive, which is the company that operates parachute jumping from Old Sarum, and they were saying they're going to restart operations in the coming week. Interestingly, the press release also hinted at not just them operating, but other sorts of air traffic as well. And it's not quite clear at the moment, and haven't yet confirmed it, but we're following it up and hope to have an answer to that next week.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
I think we thought Old Sarum was lost.
Yeah, but it's been on. It's ever since COVID arrived, it's obviously been in lockdown, and Go Skydive, who were supposed to have it to themselves, haven't been able to operate. But maybe there's been a rethink over lockdown.
Didn't I read in the press release that they're running a flying school or something as well? Or did
I'm not sure about that?
No, I might have just made that bit up.
I think there's some hints in the press release, but they haven't actually confirmed anything yet. But as I said, we're on it, and early next week we hope to have the full story.
Excellent.
Let's look forward to that. But just skipping back a little bit to the hangar home thing, I was looking at something online, and I think someone posted a picture of Charlton Park, and said that someone said implied there was a couple of apartments for sale there in the house. That's kind of like almost you get an apartment in a stately home with a runway and some hangarage. That's got to be. It's got to be worth.
I'm not sure if you definitely get hangarage, but it would be. It's a nice place to live for sure.
You're right. Strip. You might not get hangarage. I've never been into Charlton. It's on my list of places to go.
A few people I know have been there recently, and it seems to be a very popular place. And apparently, the is it Duke who runs it? Really lovely guy.
Lord Suffolk, isn't it?
Lord. There we go. Even Anyway,
so here's a little thing about Lord Suffolk. Many years ago, Lord Suffolk sold his chipmunk to Alan Crapmeyer, and Carol, who's on this very list, ended up ferrying that chipmunk somewhere around the States, I believe.
Wow!
So there you go. Small world.
Last time I went to Cirrus, Duluth, Alan's chipmunk was still sitting in one of the workshops there.
I think it was last heard of in a hangar somewhere around. Last I heard of it was in a hangar somewhere around Wisconsin, because it had flown to Oshkosh and there was some oil problem, and not wishing to cast any aspersions on Alan's ability with antique airplanes, he hadn't realised that it was one of those oil filters that you had to scavenge or scrape or turn a quarter or whatever it was, which may or may not have been connected to why it was in a hangar. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not going to say anymore.
No.
Good. Yeah, there you go. So what else have we got on here? Face coverings. Passengers to wear face coverings, but not pilots.
Yep, this is the government or Department for Transport has updated the advice to general aviation on coronavirus and how to deal with it. And there's a new section on wearing face coverings. They don't use the word face masks; they use face coverings. It doesn't have to be a mask. It can be a scarf wrapped around your head. But fortunately, they're not saying pilots have to wear it, but passengers in the aircraft should, because clearly you can't social distance inside most aeroplanes.
Yeah, but so basically, P1 fine, no mask. Passengers need a mask.
Yes, that's really going to work, isn't it? Anyway.
Yeah.
But that's something we'll need to bear in mind before too long, isn't it?
Yeah. Who knows? Silk scarves could make a return.
Yeah. So just if anyone's interested in a mask, hopefully there will shortly be some Flyer branded face masks available for purchase. So I think young people call it merch. So face masks will be our first post-COVID toe into the world of merch, as it were.
Wow.
But they won't be ready for this weekend. But they're hopefully coming next weekend.
Best get the merch department cranked up.
Yeah, if only we had a merch department. Anyone out there want to run our merch department?
Yep.
No, it's already good. Let's have a look. Skyborne, Skyborne news. That's interesting, isn't it?
Is this the electric trainer thing?
It is the electric trainer thing.
Yeah. Skyborne Airline Academy, based at Gloucestershire Airport. They've apparently ordered 10 of these electric aircraft from a company called Buy Aerospace in the States. They're called the E-Flyer 2 for the two-seater and the E-Flyer 4 for the four-seater. These aircraft are still very much in development. So you would say, given the normal period it takes to get an aircraft from development to certified and into the hands of customers, there's quite a wait. But Skyborne seem to think it's going to happen by 2022. We'll see.
That seems pretty optimistic to me. And isn't there, correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't Pipistrel already developed a certified trainer?
You've just brought up Pipistrel again just to make it hard for me to say.
Yeah, but you said it. You didn't think about it and you were fine.
There's the Pipistrel Bellus Electro already out there, type certified by Europe, being delivered at the moment to various flying schools around Europe. It's there and ready if you really want an electric aircraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is the Buy electric aircraft, is that the one with like unfeasibly long undercarriage?
It's based on an aeroplane with quite long undercarriage. It does look a little bit odd.
Was that like the Sun Flyer or something?
It was derived from that. So, it's definitely it's slightly odd looking.
It does look slightly odd, doesn't it? Flew into Gloucester Airport last week. Can't speak highly enough for this great facility. Big shout out for the Aviator Cafe. Yep, Nick giving us a big thumbs up for Gloucester, which is a good thing to say. Right, so Gloucestershire may have by 2022 10 electric aircraft.
No, I think they're probably going to.
If there are 10 electric aircraft on the ramp at Skyborne in 2022 that are certified, I will. I'll buy everyone a cup of tea
at the Aviator.
At the Aviator in Gloucester. Sure. Staverton. It'll always be Staverton to me. I learned to fly there, by the way.
Did you?
I did.
It's the first place I rented. At Cotswold. Yeah, Cotswold Aero Club on Robins.
I remember when you got those new Robins there. 21. Did you get 2160 or something there?
Yeah, something like that.
The metal one, wasn't it? Metal.
Yeah. Moving on then. What are we going to go? So fantasy hangars. So we were just chatting. As you can see behind Ed, who's got a very, very, not only very, very nice airplane, but that very, very nice airplane is in a very, very nice hangar. And I'm also fortunate enough to have my airplane in a nice hangar that I share with a couple of other aircraft. Ed's got that one just to himself, and which got us kind of thinking, we've all talked about fantasy hangars and what aircraft you put in there, and we might talk about that a bit later on. not tonight, but in another one of these live streams. But in terms of fantasy hangars, we've seen some pretty spectacular ones in the States. And so when I'm dreaming about the aircraft that I'll put in my fantasy hangar, my hangar's definitely got a polished floor, one of those kind of epoxy polished floors that you can eat your burger off of. How about anyone else got any wishes for their fantasy hangars?
I think you have a lot of space and just a very tiny apartment in the back, don't you?
Yeah,
and one window, so you can just survey all the things that you've collected.
Well, I think I quite like to have, as well as space for the aeroplane and the shiny floor, I'd also quite like to have a ramp to put my classic car on and another ramp to put the classic motorbike on. And so you can have everything in one place.
You got a good point there. You remember that hangar we saw in Jacksonville, Ed, that at the top had like a World War II crew hut in it.
Well, that's the famous Marco hangar, isn't it?
It is the famous Marco.
Yeah, there probably aren't very many better hangars than that. That really is a fantasy hangar.
Hang on a second, I need to put this on screen. Mark Greenfield has nailed it. That is what you need for a fantasy hangar, clearly.
But what happens if you don't drink?
I'm not sure you're allowed to fly, are you?
Carol's she's already filling the hangar. She's gone Chipmunk, Harvard, and P-51, and a bar.
We haven't got to the aircraft bit yet. We'll get to the aircraft bit another week. We're still on like fantasy hangars. So we've got epoxy floor that's all shiny, loads of room, little apartment in the corner with a big window so you can look at your aircraft, somewhere for your car, somewhere for your bike, a wine cellar. That's probably about. I depending on where it is. It's not in a warm place.
It's sounding more and more like a hangar home, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you go anywhere? Just stay there.
Yeah. No, I think. Yeah. No, I think so. Yeah.
I would totally live with my. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Well, frankly, Ed, we've only got your word for it there. You said I'm off to Mars now to see my airplane. You could actually be there all the time, really.
That's it. Yeah, I know. I just never go home.
Cool. Moving on. What else have we got? Events. Next one coming up this weekend, Lundy Sunday, or Lundy Sunday, as they say. Anyone here going to Lundy on Sunday? No.
Hopefully us for a start.
Hopefully we are. Yeah, Ed and I will hopefully be heading there. Need a few things to get a little bit more practice on the 180. I haven't flown it for a little while. Need to be a little bit on top of it for that runway, I think. Get some fuel. That's tomorrow morning's job. Apparently they have lamb burgers there, but I don't know with the COVID thing whether they're going to have your lamb burgers or not.
Okay. Did
you plan to go, Mark? And you're Mark Saunders. You're going. What are you going in, Mark? Not the Chieftain, surely. Have to go. Yeah. Anyway, so looking forward to that. What else is going on? Oh yeah, apology. Need to make an apology. So ages and ages ago, I said that I was going to create a video with James Emery about basic French and learning to speak basic French, so that you could go to those airfields in France that are air-to-air French only, when, you know, a bit like the 2K when the controllers have their lunch break and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I've recorded the video with James, but I've not quite finished editing it yet. There was a bit of a technical issue, and it was using this same software, so there was a lag between me speaking and the voice. So, and I can't match those in because James is also speaking, but he didn't have the lag, so I can't do that. So big apologies for that. I'll bring it to you soon.
It'll be worth waiting for.
It will be worth waiting for. I was trying to remember what "watch this space" is in French, but I can't remember. So, watch this space. I've just noticed that Mark Saunders is bringing the sport cruiser into Lundy on Sunday. What time are you arriving, Mark? In fact, I'm not quite sure what time we're going either. But I'll try and get there before the sport cruiser and get some footage of the arrival. Mark Greenfield loves your smile, Ed.
It's so kind of him.
That's okay. Right, so let's just have a quick run through weather. We've done weather, we've done the news, we've done Fantasy Hangar, that building, we looked at events. Mark's going to be there at 12. Blimey, okay. Well, we'll definitely be there before then, I hope. Magazine update. What have you? This is production week on the magazine, isn't it, Ed?
Yeah. So magazine next issue of Flyer will be available next Tuesday, and there's a feature. So the lead feature is all about the new JMB VL3 with the Rotax 915, which is really, really fast. And it's a little glimpse into potentially, it's a 600 kg microlight. Super capable, fantastic tourer, very far and very quick, high altitude, and a big glimpse into what could be possible with 600 kg microlights. So, it's an interesting little one. There's a great piece about flying a float plane to Oshkosh, which we popped in, out of the fact that there's no Oshkosh this year. So a good reminder. A fantastic summer flying adventure from one of our regular writers, Paul Kiddle, where he went off and it's a whole bunch of strips in one day. So looking forward to seeing that. I think in Top Gear, if you finish writing it, there's going to be the review of the Garmin 7th Era 760. Yeah, so we've tasked Ian with writing that up. He's still trying to figure out whether an iPad is better or not. We'll find out.
Yeah, it's certainly cheaper. It's not often you can say that an iPad is cheaper than something, is it?
No. Well, anyway, so find out more there, and a whole bunch of news, landing fees. If you're a Flyer Club member, So, but anyway, new issue will be available next Tuesday.
There's also on the subject of landing fees. On the we've got a new innovation, which is a print button, which means you can print them out on one single sheet now.
Fantastic.
It is fantastic. You got better thank Ed Tech for that. Different Ed. We call him Ed Tech.
Ed Tech does all the smart web stuff.
Yeah. So nearly time to finish. Time for a few plugs. What plugs have we got?
Just one little plug.
Sorry.
One little plug. Did you know it was World Helicopter Day on the 16th of August?
I did not know that.
No. Apparently, it's World Helicopter Day, 16th of August.
So the Earth can spend all day repelling them from the surface because they're just so odd.
Stop it.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true.
They're good fun, helicopters, actually.
I like helicopters. Helicopters are great. I've not been in a gyroplane yet, and not about to rush into one either. So
I think the whole helicopter thing could get exciting if we get 600 kilogram helicopters under the whole weight change thing. That could be. There's some really fantastic stuff that you see at Friedrichshafen every year. So who knows if we get some things like that, lower cost. Could revolutionize that. That's if there's still a space for a helicopter. If someone hasn't created an amazing man-carrying quadcopter by then, so of which there seems to be all sorts.
Do you think we need? Do you think we need space in our fantasy hangar for a helicopter?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
not in your fantasy hangar, maybe.
No, well, that's why fantasy hangars are unique, and everyone's is different.
So for the people who want a little French lesson, Rodolphe has nailed the watch this space bit. So that's in the comments. Restez à l'écoute. Well done. Thank you, Rodolphe. Good. And Paul Sengotta, I've had 2 Chinooks on a Lynx flyover this afternoon here in Wales. Paul, did you see the Chinook that flew into some wires in Wales? That was that would have woken them up, wouldn't it?
I'm sure that really got their attention. I'm guessing Chris Cooper might be tired of helicopters. He said, not if you've flown them for 35 years, they're not.
So what else we got? So a few more plugs. Time for a plug. If you're watching this on YouTube and you finish it, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, do something. It helps, okay? It just helps us. And it would be good. Leave a comment. Well, you've left loads of comments, but leave some more comments. Subscribe on YouTube and everything else. And talking of subscribing, why not become a Flyer Club member? I'm pretty sure that everyone here is almost definitely a Fly Club member. But if you're not, it's £2.50 a month. For £2.50 a month, you get the free magazine. Well, everyone gets a free magazine, but you get a magazine anyway. You get the landing fees. You get 5% off Poolies. You get 10% off Transair. You get some deals with life insurance. You get to talk to Frank Wooten about your medical. There's a whole. You get access to, like, we've just put up 2011, all the back issues from 2011.
Yep. And we're going to be adding more, aren't we? So.
A whole bunch of other stuff, and we got some member-only events kicking off before too long. Hopefully, over the next month or two, and they'll become a regular kind of thing. So, yeah, £2.50 a month. Come on, get on that internet. And
it's a bargain. There's not many bargains in aviation, but that is one.
Much as we love to do this, we also need to eat. So join up, please. Thank you very much, Jonathan Holland. It does. We fixed it, Jonathan. I promise, we fixed it. If not, send me a message and I'll fix it for you personally. The other thing I wanted to say about the Era, if you can see that, look, you can actually read Flyer magazine on the Era. That's got to make it worthwhile, hasn't it? Surely.
That's only £1,500 or something to read free Flyer.
Not only £1,500, exactly £1,500. There are easier ways to read Flyer. Anyway, I think that's all I've got time for. We've hit 8 o'clock. Has anyone else got anything else to say?
I think that might be everything. I think our dinner's waiting for us.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a pleasure. We look forward to seeing you next week. Enjoy the great weather over the weekend. Hopefully, we'll see some of you, Mark, at Lundy on Sunday, if all goes well. And otherwise, once the magazine's out, we might manage to crawl out from behind our screens and get out and about a little bit more. And hopefully see a few more of you. Okie dokie.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Fly safe, everyone. Bye.
Bye.